The Crew Motorfest came out yesterday, early access. People have been asking, what's it like to play with a wheel? This is kind of like an arcade sim, so people play with a controller. The setup is going to be this wheel right here. It's a FANATEC GT DD Pro. So it's mainly for PlayStation, but right now I'm using it on PC. If you have the Crew Motorfest for PlayStation, you could use this FANATEC base with this wheel. In order to play it on Xbox though, you'll need to get an Xbox wheel. This current settings I have are whatever FANATEC has for automatic, because I haven't tuned it yet and I haven't found online any good ways to tune it to work with the Crew Motorfest. I did play around the settings in game and I found a good way to actually use it. So we'll try with the default everything. Yesterday the issue was if I would try to correct the steering a little bit, it would overcorrect and then I would just slide around everywhere. So let's see if it does it again. It's not as bad today. Maybe I got used to it. Or maybe I'm not going fast enough. Oh no, see, there it's doing it again, like, where it's like, I'm turning left, but then like, make sure I don't oversteer left or right, it kind of wobbles. So if you see the wheel cam, you can kind of tell. It's not too bad, or it doesn't feel bad right now, but it's noticeable. It's definitely different from any sim game, right? Its feedback feels pretty good. It's pretty strong. I would say it's like similar to Gran Turismo 7's strength. But when it comes to the details, that's a little harder to feel. I can't feel like it understeer or oversteer as easily as I can in Gran Turismo and in any other sim game, right? So those are some of the differences. And then you could tell in drifting that it's made for a controller and not a wheel. But it works. All right, let's see if we can drift with these stock settings. Nope.
You did beat Hayato in that Toge duel. I knew it. There's something about you.
Yeah, so
Hayato is one of the best racers I know. Kudos.
yeah, it's hard to drift with the stock settings. So after this we'll try it with the settings I found out. So if you're using a wheel and you're struggling with the drifting, then it's not your fault. So yeah, we'll try it like this for now.
Was born in Japan. That is where you'll find the biggest drifting scene and some of the best drifting spots, of course.
This is why you have to have pretty much a round steering wheel, right? You can't use like a GT wheel or a Formula wheel.
Designed by drifters for drifters. Who knows? Maybe Motorfest will get you drifting there someday.
And if you notice, I don't have an e-brake, so I have to press the e-brake on the wheel, which is kind of like really hard to do. So you can't really e-brake drift. You have to inertia drift.
How do you feel about my modded RX-7? Tougher yet still elegant. That is my
I guess you could left foot brake too.
Because Japanese car culture isn't only famous for its drifting history, it also brought modded cars to another level, among many other things.
Yeah, you pretty much have to left foot brake. Yeah. Hey, at least we passed the mission.
Push that beauty to its limit. You have my permission.
Ah. All right, so let's see if we get more points after changing the settings. So these are the settings that I found help out a lot. So controls, change it to precise. So if you look on the right side, there's like a little graph. This is like a very linear feel, and I'm guessing is like it's good for people using a stick because it's like when you press on the stick left, it goes all max, right? But if you're using a wheel, I feel like precise is better. Right? You get a little bit more ramp early on, and then it kind of tapers off in the end. And I feel like that's all you need. Here's one. Make sure you have traction control and ABS off if you're using a pedal and wheel setup, because I feel like it makes it really dull, right? So I would turn off ESP, traction control, and ABS. And then put the drift assist to sport mode, just so you're not like cranking the wheel so much. Let's try that. I really wish I had an e-brake now. Because trying to press a single button while you're spinning the wheel is not ideal. We started the first half of the stream pretty much with the default settings. Let's try it now with the better settings. Start it. I see, like, it's
It's me,
a little bit more.
Incredible! You did beat Hayato in that Toge duel. I knew it.
Definitely better.
Something about you. Hayato is one of the best racers.
I mean, I still need to work on my drifting skills, but at least I'm not like constantly hitting the wall.
Welcome to my playground, the drift track.
And without an e-brake, you have to left foot brake, which is fine. They really didn't chain that combo together, but
in Japan, that is where you'll find the biggest drifting scene and some of the best drifting spots, of course. Like, the EBC circuit is one of the most famous places in the world for drifting. Designed by drifters, for drifters. Who knows? Maybe Motorfest will get you drifting.
I don't know if you could see in the wheel cam how much it shakes. I think it shakes a little too much. So like, even though the road is like wet, shouldn't be shaking this much. Technically.
How do you feel about my modded RX-7? Tougher yet still elegant? That is my RX-7 2.0 for you. Because Japanese car culture isn't only famous for its drifting history, it also brought modded cars to another level, among many other things.
Yeah, it's tough without e-brake, but I mean, like, you could easier. Good thing this car has a lot of power because you can initiate the drift easy.
Come on, you're almost done. Push that beauty to its limit. You have my permission.
Now I'm giving it too much gas. So I need to work on my drifting, but I mean, it was easier with those settings. Now let's do some city driving. It definitely feels a lot better. But it still does this little tail whip thing, which is kind of annoying. It's like, maybe there's a dead zone, like where your wheel is in the middle and it doesn't like have any input. So let's see, like driving in a straight line, let's test it out. So like, just say you're driving straight and you start to like wobble a little, and it's like kind of you have to really hold to fight the wheel. Maybe like what if I change my view? Maybe it's like feels more realistic. Oh yeah, so like look how much lag there is. I mean, it's kind of a little bit laggy. If you're watching my wheel cam and then the wheel in the game, I don't know if that it's a visual thing, but it feels like it is laggy. So yeah, you just kind of have to drive ahead of the car. But I mean, hopefully that gives you an idea of like how you have to change your driving style if you go into this game treating it like a sim. Yeah, driving straight line, like if you start to wobble, then you kind of just have to really hold the wheel still. You can't like stop it from doing that, you know, by fighting it. I think where the wheel is kind of difficult is in third person mode. I think because like you're pointing at the car and you see it like rock, like the delay. I think you have to pretty much, if you're gonna use the wheel, you pretty much have to be in first person mode. So let's try it. It still feels a little weird. You can see the wheel like hunting for it, right?
Streets of Honolulu at night should set the perfect stage for these final races Motorfest has prepared for you.
Oh no. That feels better first person. Like I think assessment's right. The arcade style games, third person feel kind of weird.
They're ready to put on quite a show. Expect top tier upgrades and expert driving.
Yeah, but see, it's still doing that like back and forth. My hope is that somebody on Reddit creates a FANATEC wheel setup that I could just, you know, like start as a baseline.
This is what you've been waiting for when you signed up for the Made in Japan experience. Out of this world customs owning the city.
Well, you got your wish. Everybody's car is on top of their game, especially your new ride, Toji's Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X.
Yeah, Toji's the craziest customizer of us all. He loves his cars big and mean.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's hard to feel the understeer and oversteer. You don't get that like
What impressive.
loose feeling with the oversteer, and then the like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, the vibraty feeling, the bouncy feeling with the understeer.
The Evo X, or previously known as Concept X and Prototype X, is
You can hear it though.
of the Lancer Evolution series. It's the most technologically advanced Evo ever.
Another JDM gem. You're welcome.
Toji would say it's the best of them all.
Okay, so the brakes. Okay, so I can feel the oversteer now. That's another thing, like, if once you start sliding, you can't correct it. You have to, like, at the mercy, and you have to, like, just hold the wheel still. Just fine, you know, arcade game.
We've got another lap. Hold on.
Jeez. I do like how you can see the lights on the wheel, so it works.
Do you know that the Evo X doesn't have a legit reverse gear? It has two forward gears working together to make the wheels rotate in the opposite way. Cool, huh?
And that's how you save on weight.
Precisely.
What a race! That Motorfest crew knows how to throw a party.
Don't get too excited. You're just a host in that fantasy.
Watch out. Hosts can be dangerous, Mrs. Abernathy.
Hey, I got that, ref.
Nerds, both of you.
Yeah, maybe it's a little too easy.
The finish line's just a few seconds away, guys. It's now or never.
The force feedback, like I said, is strong. The detail isn't there as far as like feeling understeer, oversteer, but it's, you know, it's like I feel like it's all strength. You're fighting it, and I read somebody was saying like they feel like they had a workout whenever they play this game with a wheel, and it's kind of like all about strength, right? I think a direct drive wheel definitely worth it for a game like this, even though it's mainly for sim. It doesn't need to be a super crazy wheel.
Hi there.
You just have to get used to it. So if you want to play the Crew Motorfest with a wheel and you have a G29, just use the G29. You don't have to get a direct drive. I think for this game, you definitely have to have a round steering wheel, just because of the drifting parts, right? And driving around town is very drifty anyway. I think it's very doable. You can play this game with a wheel. It doesn't have to be a controller. It's a little bit of getting used to, but you for sure can do it. I would recommend that, you know, don't jump directly to a direct drive. Not a sim. You're not gonna get the details with the feedback, but you will get the strength. So you'll have to muscle it a little bit at first. It makes it fun. That's what makes the game fun. I would recommend play around with the settings, see what you like. Whenever we changed it from the default to the precise settings, it was better. I was able to get a higher score in drifting. I was able to control the car a little bit better. I would recommend that if you use a wheel, you just use whatever you have. If you don't have a wheel, you don't go out and buy one. Just use your controller. Yeah, so just try it. You have to try it for yourself. If you don't like it, then, you know, switch back to the controller. Thanks guys for tuning in. And as always, peace.